Hey everyone, welcome to Dutchman's and welcome to another bonus video. In this video I just want to harvest my purple potatoes that have been growing in my container this year. So just a little bit of context, this was just soil that I was going to be making. So I used these little bark nuggets along with charcoal and a little bit of food scraps on the bottom, and that's really all this was. So not ideal conditions at all, but I'm still expecting a pretty decent harvest. So we'll just show you that today. So this is some of the stuff. I got a piece of charcoal in there. Charcoal, the difference between charcoal and biochar is just that biochar has been allowed to suck up all the nutrients, and charcoal hasn't been allowed to have that yet. It's just hasn't had the nutrients yet. Let's start doing some digging in here and see what we can find. I see worms in here, so that's a really good sign. I'm expecting a lot of worm castings in here, because it has been sitting all summer and have been having potatoes grown in it. They did really well, so we'll see. Oh, I see a peak of purple. It's a little guy. Oh, warm on it. Okay. Oh, it looks like this got eaten way too long. As long as I have enough to grow another crop next year, then I'll be happy. Another little guy. Yeah. See, this is what happens when you wait too long. The worms were having a go at it. That's my own fault though. I think the worms ate a lot of them. Small one. Couple more. They have good color too. It's a good size one. Another one that got eaten. So that's it's a learning lesson for next year. It's not a problem. I got plenty here to grow again next year. Couple more. So yeah, there's lots of worm castings in here, so that's very good. I'm happy to see that. Another nice one. Small one. Itty bitty one. Which are fine, I'll just use those for seedling potatoes. Alright, so that's the harvest for this year. It's really not as bad because I had no expectations at all. These will be plenty to just reseed with this next year. But I actually got some surprises as well. I really didn't expect to get any of these regular, I'm assuming Yukon Gold potatoes. I did put some in the bottom, some food scraps in the bottom, and I'm guessing there were some clips of a regular potato in there. So that's kind of a nice surprise. So the lessons learned was that I really shouldn't have waited as long as I did. We ended up getting some rain, so the soil was pretty wet. And I think that allowed a lot of them to rot. Like the plants themselves died like a month or two ago already, so I just left them sit way too long. And the result of that is that some of them got eaten. I'm assuming a fairly large part of it actually got eaten. So that's a little unfortunate, and that's something that I will not be doing next year. Next year I'll just harvest them the minute that the plant has died back. But I'm still fine with this harvest because this will be plenty to grow next year, and I'll have a good full container that's has soil that's ready to go. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, these surprises were pretty interesting. So yeah, harvest them. Itself is dead, and don't wait any longer than you have to. And yeah, that's really the biggest take out of this. As far as storing goes, you don't want to wash these off, because that'll actually make them not last as long. You just want to pull them right out of the ground, allow them to dry off, and then just manually wipe off some of the excess dirt. Do not rinse them. And all I'm going to do now is just add a bunch of leaves to the soil, put the soil back, and then put it to sleep for the rest of the year until next spring. So I appreciate all of you watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Tot de volgende keer.